My dear first year honors students, the freshers who have just got admitted into the first year honors in BL College. So I welcome you. Um, Welcome to the department. You know, the Department of English has a long standing tradition. You are the part and parcel of this Department of English. You are the members of English department family. So we are very much proud of you because you are the cream, the most talented students. Because the most talented students get admitted into the Department of English. So one thing I would like to say just at the very beginning of this session, that you have to be very regular and punctual in attending your classes. You have to be, have to show honor to your honorable teachers. You have to follow your courses regularly, and you can learn a lot of things from the Department of English. You have 11 teachers at the department right now, and you have a lot of things. You can learn a lot of things from the Department of English. So I would like to introduce myself. I am Professor Iqbal Hossain. I've been teaching the Department of English for 28 years, and I wish that you should be regular and punctual, systematic, disciplined, regular classes, attend your classes regularly. So I'm sure that you will benefit a lot from attending your classes. Well, the topic today I'll discuss is a poem, a piece of poem. So you have prose, you have poetry, you have reading skill, writing skill. So today I'll basically talk about a poem of Robert Frost. And before going to the discussion of the poem, I would like to make you familiar with Robert Frost, his literary achievements, his poetic career. Robert Frost is a great poet, a great modern poet. He is a modern poet of the United States of America. Robert Frost, he was born on March 23, 1874 in San Francisco, California, United States of America. But later, their family moved to Massachusetts, Boston, and their family settled in New England, Boston. Frost is a born poet, he is a great poet. He basically depicted the countryside of Boston, the people who lived at the grassroots level of New England, farmers, the rustic people. He represented their way of life, their hopes and aspirations, their sorrows and joys. So he realistically presented their life. By presenting the life of these rustic people, of these farmers, he presented the life of the people of the world. So his poetry has a universal appeal because the way he has presented the life of these rustic people, rural people, we find the same picture in the rural people of the world. So his poems have a universal appeal. His poems have a universal appeal. Another aspect of his poetry is Frost poetry is thought-provoking. You find a lot of significance, lot of meaning, lot of importance, lot of metaphoric values in his poems. For example, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening is a poem where you find a lot of literary meanings. So there is a traveler here who starts his traveling journey. He has to go to the farmhouse. He has some duty to perform but on the way he stops. It is a late evening. There is a huge fall of snow. The poet stops and enjoys the beauty of nature. He forgot that he has some duty to attend, but later he remembers, yes, he has to perform his duty. In other words, he has a commitment. So this life on earth is a commitment. Our journey from birth to death is it's a long spiritual journey. So this is a very symbolic poem. Frost wrote a number of poems. I'd like to mention some of his poems. Mending Wall is a famous poem. Mending Wall is a poem where there are two neighbors. The two neighbors mend or repair the wall, the boundary wall, but the speaker, who is obviously the poet, he is against the wall. His argument is that there should be no wall. If there is a wall, there is barriers in neighborly relationship. But the old man, he is in favor of wall. So it has a symbolic meanings. Our world is divided into a number of walls. There are a lot of walls in this world. Lot of walls geographically. We have walls between father and son. We have walls between husband and wife. So lot of walls are there. So apparently, in this poem you find a boundary wall between two neighbors, but obviously you find lot of walls everywhere. Lot of walls. So I have already mentioned that Frost's poetry has symbolic significance, symbolic meaning, a outer meaning, and there is a hidden meaning. So Frost's poetry has symbolic significance, literary significance, metaphoric value. So I have mentioned that Frost is called a modern poet. Modern poetry basically deals with modern life, city life, urban life. But although Robert Frost dealt with rustic people, rural life, still he is considered one of the great moderns, one of the great modern poets, because he presented the hopes and aspirations, the joys and sorrows, the problems, the sufferings of human beings. Frost is called a poet of nature. But if we deeply analyze, we find, yes, he is a poet of nature, but he is also a poet of man, because basically he dealt with the rustic people, their sorrows and joys, their hopes and aspirations in a realistic manner. So in this connection, I would like to contrast Robert Frost's treatment of nature with William Wordsworth's treatment of nature. Wordsworth is also a poet of nature. He is a poet of England. He is called a poet of nature. But Wordsworth's treatment of nature is spiritual. So from a spiritual point of view, William Wordsworth has presented nature. On the other hand, Robert Frost has presented nature from a realistic point of view. So while we analyze nature of Robert Frost, we find basically the rustic people, their problems, lot of problems are there. For example, Out is a poem. So there is a boy here who is seriously injured while working in a sawmill. His hand is cut, his hand is bleeding. So he presented life in a realistic manner, in a harsh manner, in a cruel manner. So another important point in Robert Frost's poetry is alienation, isolation. So isolation is there, bad relationship is there, confrontation and clashes are there. There is a bad relationship between two neighbors, I have mentioned. Bad relationship between bad treatment, ill treatment, maladjustment between husband and wife, maladjustment, bad relationship between the owner of the house and the hired man. So, Frost presented nature, but at the same time he presented the life of the rusty people in a realistic manner. Frost does not hide the reality of life. He does not keep his eyes closed to the harsh reality of life. He accepted the harsh reality of life. So, I've mentioned that Frost is a great modern, he's a great poet, and he received 40 honorary degrees, and he received Pulitzer Prize several times. Pulitzer Prize is called American Nobel Prize. So, he also obtained Congressional Gold Medal for literature from the President of the United States of America. So, Frost, universality I have mentioned, Frost is a universal poet, I have already mentioned. Universal, why? Because he presented life in a universal manner. So, it transcends the boundary of geography, it transcends the limitation of time. So, man, any time of their life, anywhere, anytime will find the same picture of New England people. And Frost had a long life, long lifespan. He had he lived for 90 years. He died in 1963. So he had a long lifespan. So thank you, my dear students. Thank you very much for attending my online classes. I hope that you will attend my online classes. And in the next class, I'll specifically talk about home burial, which is on your syllabus. So, okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.